Hey, hello. How is everybody today? I'm Karen Yankovich. This is our weekly Women Connecting Women live show coming to you on Wednesday instead of Tuesday this week because Ro and I both live in New Jersey and we had Isaiasa. Is that how you said that? The hurricane
Don't even try.
Isaiasa blowing through yesterday and power issues all over the place. So we're here today instead of yesterday, Wednesday. Ro, I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm, I'm happy I'm able to be here
I know,
after
me too.
24
Me
hours of
too.
no power.
Yeah. How long? 24 hours?
24 hours I had
Oh
no
my
power.
gosh. Yeah, my power went out for a little bit, but not for very long. So
You're
I was
one of the
thankful for
lucky
that.
ones.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are? I just realized I didn't turn my light on, so I'm going to do that while you're telling everybody who you
Oh,
are.
that. So, hi, everyone. I'm Roe Couture DeSaro. I am that woman that believes women can have it all. For the last 40 years, I've been saying this. And I'm just thrilled that I'm finally getting women to step up and say, you know what? I think that's possible. My business is Gutsy Gals Get More. And I'm here to really help women stand up, and really step into their power, be the woman that they were meant to be, find that power, and show up authentically. The Gutsy Gal is the only guts you need is to be you.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's why we work so well together with this because that's exactly really what I teach everybody on LinkedIn. Everybody feels that they need to be someone they're not, and you don't. You need to be you. You need to
You know?
step into the amazingness of you, and then just build everything from there. So you guys that are on
Yeah.
Facebook, if you're not logged into StreamYard.com, we can see your comments. We just don't know it's you. It just says Facebook user. So just if we know you, put your name in so that we know who we're talking to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So tell us a little bit about. So you do a lot. We're both in New Jersey. You do a lot of work with local networking in New Jersey. I know that. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about what your business is and how you do this. How you support women to be their authentic selves.
My business is it's kind of got it's a multifold because part of me is I want to be a guide for women to lead them where they need to go to. I want to be a mentor. I am a mentor, but so sometimes that shows up as a coach, being a business coach, helping them giving them the clarity and the certainty that they need. Because when you just have, clarity is money, but certainty is like mega success when you have the
Yes.
certainty and but success with ease and success with fun. Because when you just like when you
Oh,
stop,
okay. Hold on. I'm going to stop you right there. These are my two words for 2020. Oopsie.
joy and
Joy,
ease.
right? So ease and fun, right?
And that is the secret sauce, because a lot of us, with women, we tap into this masculine success world that we inherited, and this success system, which is not our system. And we wind up, because we're trying to be something we're not, we wind up getting into overload. We wind up getting stressed out. And when really all it needs to be is really tapping into who you are, so you can tap into the flow and the
Yeah.
ease of it, and show up that way. So I have workshops. I actually have a challenge going on right now. I had to make a pivot yesterday, of course,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
manage
Tell us about your challenge.
managed to just get it on today. My challenge that I'm doing, you know what? I sat down and I was like, what do I see women need right now with this world? What's going on? There's so much negativity going on. There's so much that it's forcing us to even be afraid to speak up about our personal lives, afraid of like being that judgment, and we're going to be put into this box. So, and from a business standpoint of women in business, I started seeing what's going on right now is that women are hiding, they're playing safe, they're kind of like, do I charge now or do I not charge now? Are people going to pay for services now, or are they not paying for services? Do I
Right.
exactly
Right.
exactly? So I'm like, okay, well, what do we need? And what came to me was that they need courage. They need confidence right now. They need the courage to take inspired action
Yeah.
in this unknown
It takes
zone.
courage, right? To all of us, no matter how confident you are, you still have to find a little bit of courage.
You have to find that little bit of courage. You have to tap in. Confidence is situational. You could get wobbly, it could go off track, and how do you get back on track? So I put together a challenge of embrace your courage and be the gutsy gal your business needs. Be the power woman your business needs. Like, go out there and like like be who you need to be in order to be the woman that you envision yourself being.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. And it started on Monday. We couldn't do yesterday. So we had today. So it's actually got another like 5-6 days left. So
How do people find the challenge?
the bit.ly, it's like a short bit.ly. It's just Embrace Courage, all lowercase.
All lowercase, bit. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna
bit.ly/Embrace Courage. It's complimentary. It's free.
bit.ly/EMBRACECOURAGE. All right.
Yep.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys should join. Wait.
All they have to do is click on that link. There you go. Beautiful. Thank you. All they have to do is go on that link. There's a short video that I have. There's some, basically what they're getting, but it's really helping them. I want to help women tap into their inner business genius.
Yeah. Do you find, Ro, that what I find, and this shows up in my life, not just my clients' life, so I definitely can relate to this, but do you find that the courage isn't always to show up to your business people? It's not the courage isn't always where it has to come from. Sometimes it has to come like to the rest of the world, the people in the rest of your life, like kind of who do you think you are kind of stuff. And because we're doing blogs and podcasts and live streams and, it's not what, and at least in my life, it's not what most of my family and friends are doing. Right. So right. I don't really care anymore. But in the beginning, it took that first podcast episode that I put out took a lot of courage. I remember my sister called me because I talked a lot about like when I was a kid, and she was like, did we grow up in 2 different houses? But I knew that everybody's perspective was different. And I just was like, I'm just going with it. This is my truth,
Exactly.
And it took a little courage to
absolutely
just with from a business perspective, that's kind of easier. It's like, can I really show up like this to the rest of the world?
It's that's the hardest piece of showing up and revealing who you are, your vulnerability. I mean, I have the same thing. So here I am, been doing the Guts and Gals Get More for years. And it took me literally a year and a half of wanting to do Facebook Lives before I actually got started.
Yeah.
Because I could go and speak in front of a group of individuals, but live, I had this vision. It's like all of a sudden millions of people are going to see me. And
we wished millions of people were saying on live, right?
Exactly. Now it's like, I want that.
Right.
But it took me really long for doing that. And then I'm the youngest of 5. And I know my family's still like, what do you do?
I know.
It happens all the time.
I know.
But it's very common. And that is something that when we tap into the inner resources and the wisdom of who we are and what we stand for and why we're doing this and what we want, and coming from this place of service, you will be willing to show up because it's not for you. It's for service of the people that are looking for you, that need you, that, you have talent, you have gifts, and the world needs you. So,
and here's the thing, I mean, for the people that are listening that are worried, like, can I charge right now? The reality is, I want you to charge, and I want you to come up with your most comprehensive, amazing, what else can I do to help people have success, high ticket service, because there are people that can pay that right now. And here's what happens when you're doing that. You're serving them, right? They want your time. Maybe they're homeschooling their kids and they don't have a lot of time, so they want an intensive, right? Or maybe they are like trying to decide if they're going back to work or not. Right? If they're going to leave their house, so they want to do it quickly. People will pay for that. As you're supporting them and their abundance is growing, and as your abundance is growing, you are able to then serve the people that can't pay those prices even more. Right? Like the amount of work that goes into this and my podcast and all the free stuff that I do is incredible. And if I didn't sell things,
I can't tell you, I'm doing this challenge and I'm like, why am I doing this for free? This is a lot of work. I'm actually hired. I have an assistant and I'm paying her, and I'm like, whoa, I'm paying to have my program on. But here's the thing. It's people will find the money for what they want.
Yeah.
And so it's not even that, I need to find people who have money. You need to find your ideal client. You need to find your soul client that needs what you have to offer and is ideally situated for that, you are the perfect person because of your experiences, because of your skills, because of who you are, and everything else to bring that. And when you have that match, like a soul mate, so there's soul clients, I call them soul clients.
Yeah.
When you have that match, they will do everything impossible to be in your programs.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've invested in programs certainly when I did not have the money. Still now, I just did 12 grand, and I was like, now, like, really, should I? And it's like anytime, it's like you do double figures, you always have that, like, but you know what? No, I want this. This is what I want. I feel she's the right woman for me. I feel this is what I need right now, and I feel she's going to get me to the next level. So I'm doing it.
Right.
That's what your clients will do.
And that's exactly it. Investing in mentoring, there is nothing that's going to get you there more quickly. But that takes confidence too. And you know what's really interesting too? We both serve women, and I'm committed to that. I do serve men as well. I mean, I don't care what your body parts are or how you identify. You can join my program. But my podcast is called Good Girls Get Rich. My program is She's Linked Up. So it's really focused on, all the marketing is focused on women. And I would say about a third of the people in my program that join my program every month are men. And I think it's because, and I don't think it's, I know that it is easier to get, men have an easier time investing in themselves than women do.
Absolutely.
And it drives me crazy. So I'm always there trying to give people the confidence. Hey, Sharon, good to see you.
Men don't have shame-based meanings in their body. They don't have it in their body. Like,
so tell us what that means.
It's the way we've been raised, and we're always like, girls should fit in and not be seen. You need to fit in. So we have all this shame that we bring, and when we do something wrong, we blame ourselves. We shame ourselves, and we look at it, it's like, what did I do wrong? I did this. I should have did this. I should have did that. Men, they don't look at what they did wrong. They look like, oh, that happened because of this. They give this. They don't put this meaning to it, making it about themselves. So because it's not about themselves, they're not thinking like, oh, if I invest in this, will I be successful? Will I get my money back? Will I have an ROI? They're like, they have certainty. They're like, yeah, because I'm going to make sure of it.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to do the work. I'm going to show up. But women doubt themselves, and they put this shame. So they're like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if this is going to work for me. I don't know if I'm going to get my money back. And they put all these negative thoughts. So they put too much thought process, and they don't listen to their inner guidance, and they don't listen to and get really clear on, well, what's my next best move? Right. Do I need this? Is this going to get me to where I want to go? Is this in alignment where I want to go? And they don't ask these, like, they ask the wrong questions. They don't ask the great questions. Men don't even go through those questions. They're like, I want this.
Yep.
Do it. I'm doing it.
Yep. So Facebook user is Jennifer Covington, who I adore. And Jennifer saying she finds men easier, that they delegate easier also. And that's so true. We're just like, I got it. And we got like 50,000 things on our to-do list.
They don't put the second guessing. They don't second guess themselves. They don't second guess themselves. They don't make it a big deal. They don't have to have like 10 reasons of rationalizations as to why.
Right.
Why
it's true. Like, and this isn't man bashing. This is women lifting. Like, we have to be better at this.
You know what? It's not our fault.
Better at this.
I mean, I do this too. It's not our fault. And this is either I've had this and had to overcome it. And some of these things I still always continuous process of journey. But it's, it's just that we were raised this way. Right. And actually it's been generational. So sometimes it's not even say, well, look at my mother. No, well, it's like, look at your grandmother and everybody else and what are they saying and what they're putting in there. And, I was fortunate. My mom worked. She was the only woman that worked in the area. And my mother was more of the masculine in the family, and my father was the feminine. So I had this whole different perspective. And by the time I was a teenager, I was like, why are women being not put on this pedestal? Men are being put on a pedestal and women aren't. And I love men, and I'm married 35 years, but I just felt in the early on that women can do what a man can do, and I'm going to go out there and prove it. But it was more of my move. It was my movement. It wasn't that I'm great. I certainly, if I did think that,
and I feel the same way. I mean, listen, I invest in business coaches too, and they say, "Tell me again why you're focusing on women when you have an easier time closing men than you have closing women." You know, I'm like, because that is my mission in life. You know,
exactly. Because I had when I worked on Wall Street,
I want to even level the playing field.
Yeah, I worked on Wall Street, and I broke several glass ceilings on Wall Street in the 80s. And so I have a history of doing very well with men. Men like working with me because I'm not I'm not the usual, and you're like this too. You know, I'm not the wimpy woman. They love to respect women, but they just don't want the wimpy whiners and complainers. They're like, if you whine and you complain, they're going to shut you down. But if you show up powerful, they're going to like open up their arms and say, let me show you how I can help you get there. But they'll respect you when you're like that. So when I started shifting, people were like, well, why aren't you working with men? And why aren't you in corporate? I'm like, because the service-based woman entrepreneur, my heart goes out to her. They're not getting the help, and someone's got to help them. So why not be me? So I'm just like you, and like it's my mission.
Jennifer's saying the same thing, that the women in her family are more in their masculine. And it's interesting because in my family, it's not. My grandmothers worked, my mom worked, like everybody, all the women worked. But my grandmothers were seamstresses. My mom was a secretary in a school. So very traditionally female roles, right? Yeah. So I'm like, who is this chick? Who is Karen? Totally. Like I frequently ask people, like, it wasn't until my 23andMe DNA came back where I truly believed I wasn't adopted into the family, because I'm like quite different than most of my family.
My mom went all the way up to control, and she didn't even have a high school degree.
Oh, good for her.
And then, and she's 91 right now. I'll give you an example of my mom. Yesterday in the storm, she's 91. I reached out to see how she's doing because I'm just getting home. I'm like, what do you mean you're just getting home? This is after the storm. She says, yeah, I had a doctor's appointment. I had to get my hair done. She went out in the storm to get her hair done. I was like, you're insane. but this is my mission right now is that women, I work with mostly women leaders because I'm seeing too many women leaders show up in the masculine, and they are now empowering other women to show up in the masculine. And that's the one that really gets me. There's two that get me. That one, because I want women to show up in their feminine energy and balance with their masculine. I want the men to understand our power in that and to see how they could actually need the more feminine side themselves to be more successful.
Somebody actually mentioned to me that might be one of the reasons why I have men in my program, because these are men that are more enlightened and ready to really embrace the feminine rising. Just interesting.
And they actually probably like hanging out with women that are powerful more. Yeah. But the other one is my other pet peeve has been women supporting women. Men play team very well. Men could go, they could be against someone, they could have screaming matches, and a half hour later they're having a beer together and laughing. And women, we haven't been doing that. We'll be getting better, but we're not playing team, we're not playing the game, we're not being collaborative, and we're not supporting one another the way without an agenda.
Yeah.
We need to be really non-judgmental, non-critical of other women. We need to lift other women as we're lifting ourselves, and really, really get up there and share and not hide our talents and our gifts because someone's going to steal it. That's such a scarcity mindset.
I know, it really is. Exactly how many clients do you need, right? There's millions and billions of people on the planet, right?
There's so much abundance out there. Right. And I just would love to see more women being, collaborative and co-creatives, and because we learn as women. And actually, as human beings, we're built for community, but collectively learning. I do a lot of collective learning. A lot of my coaching is done in women's circles, and a lot of collective learning, so we could go deep, uncover the weakness, so that we could find the strength, and you could deal with the weakness. And so this collective learning is something that is very passionate about me, and that's what I love. So that's where if women support one another, they'll open themselves up to be able to learn in this collective environment and move a lot faster. They'll accelerate their success.
right?
Makes
Oh my
sense.
gosh, I do. That makes sense. And you know what? That also takes some courage because it takes some unlearning. People like women don't tear down other women because they
Right.
woke up today and said, "I want to do that." It's just it was how they learned, right? So they have to unlearn that, and that takes some courage to
And you
to
know what?
stand up.
We need to recognize, men and women, that the greatest leaders out there, and actually I just heard this from my mentor yesterday, it made so much sense. And that we learn,
Mm-hmm.
we unlearn, and then we have to relearn.
Mm-hmm.
And like take this environment right now. We actually, all of us are relearning because
Yes.
the buying has changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the world has changed. So you have to adapt, and you're in marketing and you're in all this. So you constantly have to adapt. So sometimes we learn something and it may not have been right, but even if we learn something, then we have to unlearn it and then we have to relearn it because everything is constantly changing. You know, buyers are changing. The economy is changing. You know, how do you market in a recession versus how do you market in a bull market, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I love that you said that because
I do,
it's so
yeah.
true,
And you know what?
right?
Here's the thing. And that's if you're listening to this, hey Dawn, good to see you here. Um, if you are listening to this and getting a little stressed by this, thinking, oh my gosh, it sounds like so much work and I have to push through, you don't have to push through. You
No
just have to
pushing.
understand that it is just the way it is. And that, like, I don't know if you can see behind me, but like I've been embracing like mermaid energy. And those are mermaids behind me.
Love
And
it.
mermaids swim. And if they, if there's a shark coming from them, they just go the other way. And we don't we don't have to push. I showed you my ease sign before. I'm all about
Yep.
making things simple and having a process. And then when you have, like, we've had to shift. And I don't know, I think it's Governor Cuomo that calls it reimagining, right? I like the word reimagining better than I like pivoting or things like that. Reimagining
Yes.
sounds fun, right? Okay,
It's
so let's
totally.
reimagine a little bit. What do we need to do to have success? Because it's never going to change, right? Like I
Yeah.
actually just did a talk in my group this week, and I talked about the fact that, like, if you're going to sail from Florida to the Bahamas, right, and you plot your course and you know exactly where you're going. You're going, like, my island is Cat Island in the Bahamas, right? That's where I like to go. So I'm going to go to Cat Island, and no matter how well I plot my course, the winds are going to shift, right?
Mm,
So it's just a guarantee. I know where I'm
exactly.
going. I know I can still get there, but I have to shift when the winds shift, and I have to reimagine what my
Yep.
course is. And maybe it'll take me a day or two longer. Maybe it'll even take me a day or two shorter, because if I can reimagine and catch the wind, right, then maybe it'll get me there even faster. But you
Yeah.
can't just fight it, you'll end up on the rocks, right?
No,
So
because
you
nothing
gotta
good ever
just go with it
happens.
and then understand
Yeah.
that it's just part of business,
Totally.
part
You
of
said
life.
two key things. Well, one is the forcing, because that's the masculine piece when we try to force. And nothing good ever comes from forcing, because when you're in that forcing mindset, you're shutting down your creativity, you're shutting down your breakthroughs, you're shutting down your insights, and everything's going to come out all for the wrong reasons. And you could do everything right. You could follow all your strategies,
Mm-hmm.
and what's going to happen is crickets,
Right.
because you were in this force, I gotta worry, state of mind. So
Yep.
there is a system to mindset.
Yeah.
Besides a system to marketing. The other thing you said was the word, my favorite word, which is fun.
Mm.
And making it fun. And like women, we just have to make it fun. You have to learn. Like when I get stuck and I'm procrastinating, I always say to myself, well, how can I make this fun?
Right.
How can I make this where I'm enjoying it? How can I feel good about this process? And I'll journal it, or I'll exercise, or I'll take a walk out in nature, but I'll slow down, because I know I'm off track, and I know I'm not in alignment, and I know I have to get back into it. And that's when I beef up the feminine energy, like big time.
Yeah.
Because and that's what gets me back out, and then we can move. Then it's like, then I get the ahas, and then it just comes, and now I got the idea, the download of ideas, and I move forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get the results.
Excuse me. It's interesting. The story behind the mermaid, and I talked about it on the podcast about 6 months ago, was that I have this Wonder Woman mug, and I was using the Wonder Woman mug, and it was a day that I was exhausted. I don't know what I was doing, but I was like pushing through it, and I was like, this sucks. And I'm like, nope,
Right.
I'm like Wonder Woman. I can do this. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I don't want to be Wonder Woman anymore. And right next to my Wonder Woman mug was a mermaid mug. I was like, I want to be a mermaid today. I don't want to be Wonder Woman. I want to be a mermaid today. And I want to just embrace mermaid energy and get where I need to get. But I don't want to be like fighting my way through it all the time. Like,
Right.
why do we need to be superhuman to be successful? Why
No.
can't we just be human? Right. And
Yeah.
that's really how I started embracing this whole mermaid energy.
You stumbled on the secret, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, who do I need to be right now? It's not what do I need to do. It's not in the doing, it's in the being. And, so who do I need to be to step in to be what I need to get done and what I need and, show up. So like a lot of my clients would sometimes they started doing this on their own. They'd be like, well, I realized I was stuck and I didn't know what to do. And then I said, well, what would a gutsy gal do in this situation? And then they come up with the answers. It's like when you get curious and you allow wonder and curiosity to come in, it's like, oh, I wonder what, who do I need to be in order for me to feel good and move forward? And it's like, and you were like, no, I need to be a mermaid.
Yes. I was like, oh my
I don't need to be a superwoman.
Right.
Yeah. When I first started my business, it was going to be super stress-free woman, and I was something like that. And I was like, no, I don't want superwoman, because superwoman was too masculine. Right. And even like the gutsy gals, sometimes I want to make sure that people recognize that the gutsy gals is about showing up with heart. It's about bringing your whole heart into the business. It's about being you. It's about being authentic. It's about you showing up at what you creating out of your genius, out of who you are, something to solve a problem in the world.
Yeah.
It's not about going out there and being aggressive and being a gutsy gal, Gutsy gals are.
You talked a little bit more about your challenge again. So we have a few people that joined us, and then tell us how else you support people, programs, products, like how do people follow you?
Okay, awesome. So my challenge right now is going on live this week. So it'll be the best way to follow me and to join, because you get the replay.
Link at the bottom there.
Okay, it's in it does get housed in my Facebook group. So the challenge is embrace your courage and be the power woman your business needs. And it's in the bit.ly is right there below. And that is really about activating your inner business genius and just, really knowing how to be powerful and capable, knowing that of who you are and really stepping into that power and tapping into your authentic self and tapping into all that. And I have programs. I have two kinds of programs. So I have programs of, unlocking your power woman and it's what I call it, the get what you want formula to have massive income, impact, and influence in your own unique way. So I have a program. It's a 7-week program. Actually, that program is going to be doors are going to be opening next week on that. I have a Legacy Essentials program that I do, a 6-month coaching program, but I do Facebook Lives a lot in my Facebook group. I have a private free Facebook group. It's Courageous Conversations for Wholehearted Profitable Business. So I'm all about, let's have the conversation that we need to be. Let's drop this afraid of what people are thinking about me and judgment, because we don't have these real raw conversations. We're not going to move the needle.
Right.
We're not going to move the needle. So we need to have these conversations, because what happens is it's always like, oh, I thought I was the only one thinking that. I thought I was the only one like that. It's like there are other women that are like this, and then all of a sudden you just wipe it away just because you know that it's not you.
Right.
It's more than that.
And if they join this challenge, will they get an invite to the Facebook group?
Yes.
So they don't need to remember that whole thing. Well, if you want, you can go into the chat later in both groups.
My handle everywhere is BA Gutsy Gal.
BA
Facebook, Twitter, BA Gutsy Gal. The only one that's different is Instagram, because I had it, lost it, and they won't give it back to me. Oh. Some password thing. I don't know. So I'm Gutsy Gal Leaders there. Gutsy Gal _leaders. But be a Gutsy Gal on Facebook and LinkedIn, and you'll find me, and just reach out to me, and I'll be happy to.
It's a challenge. I mean, it's free, and we all could use a little bit of courage. I think in the days that we're living in now, we're making some pretty powerful decisions, regardless of what those decisions are. Regardless of whether they're in your business, whether they're in your life, whether they're with your family, you have to have courage to. To really step into the decisions that are right for you.
Yeah, I just let me say one thing. Imagine what your business would be like if you could just kick fear to the curb. And if you could go from fear to freedom, and freedom from fear. Can you have freedom from fear? Because you don't get rid of fear. But if you can have freedom from it, imagine what your business would look like. Imagine what the business relationships would be like. Imagine the choices that you would make, getting rid of that. And that's what this is all about. Plus, I do these nice little courage challenges with every call. And I give away a bonus and something free. I gave away $100 Amazon gift card, already. I'm giving away some free coaching with me. I'm giving away thousands of dollars because I just want women to engage. Once they engage and I have women are supporting each other in the group, I love it. It's great.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited to see what you're doing. I'm glad you were here today. We've been talking about doing this for a while and haven't done it. So good luck with your challenge. Good luck with your program. And everybody you should join this challenge. Actually, let me put the link back up for that. It's bit.ly/embrace courage. And I'm sure it's good stuff. And I encourage you to check it out. If it's not for you, you have nothing to lose, right? But I think that you'll get something out of it. You'll definitely get something out of it. All right, Rose, thank you so much for being here with us. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'll see you over in the Facebook group.
I love seeing all your programs and everything. I know some of my clients have joined your program. So
yes, I love having your clients because it's so aligned. Our messages are so aligned. I spoke to someone yesterday. It wasn't from your program. It was actually somebody else's program. And she's looking for funding. And I know she's got this amazing idea. I was like, we got to get you in because you got to have a great LinkedIn profile. It's like a chicken and egg thing, right? Like you got to do it. So we managed to do it. We managed to get her in. But,
like when the women come through my programs, they now have that confidence to take inspired action and do their lives and do their LinkedIn and do their social media and show up. They're ready to show up.
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Love watching you. Love seeing you.
Yeah, well, right back at you. Thanks for being here. Everybody, see you next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the next Women Supporting Women live show.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you.